Good evening, everybody. We are going live. It's Thursday Thoughts, and I'm so happy to be here. We have a very special guest tonight, and an honor to have her. This is Miss Angelia Johnson, and y'all, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. But before we get started, as with every Thursday Thoughts, we just want to take the opportunity and just say one thing that we are thankful for, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm so thankful that the wind this morning, because it was very strong, y'all, did not blow my patio furniture away. For real, for real. The wind in Michigan this morning, right around 7 a.m., 6 or 7 a.m., was so strong, y'all. I'm not kidding. It sounded like you could hear it whistling, like loud. So I'm thankful of that. How about you, Angie? What you thankful for today on this Thursday?
Always thankful for life and God just guiding me in the way that He would have me to go on a daily basis. Lots to be
Wonderful.
thankful for, but that's my top one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, listen, y'all. Angie is the owner of Team Angie Fitness. Be your best you. And so I thought it was so befitting because we at Priority You were always looking at ways that we can inspire women and get women to learn to prioritize themselves. And so Angie focuses prioritizing themselves, especially around your physical fitness, because your health is your wealth, and you can't be healthy if you're not physically fit. So we're going to get into Angie. We're going to find out all about how she got started, how you all can get in touch with her, what she's got going on. And then we're going to reach out to the audience and maybe ask some questions. All right. So we're going to kick it off. So tell me, Angie, what inspired you to start your own business, this fitness business? How did you get down that journey?
It's gonna be well, I'll make it short. So of course, as a youth, I was what they call, had a little baby fat on. But I was very athletic. I played basketball, I ran track, I did all the things. But I always had a little extra, maybe 15 pounds on me, until I became an adult. Um, But what made me start the business was one day I was a temp at a major company and they didn't hire me. And I had just gotten married and we had just gotten in a house. And I was like, oh, snap. What I need to do is put together a boot camp, charge $5 a person. Because I'd already cased the neighborhood and found a middle school with a backyard. With they had a track actually in the back of the middle school, and
Okay.
so I made a flyer. This was in the flyer days, and I sent it out. People showed, and Team Angie Fitness was born.
Wow. So how many people did you send that flyer to?
Um, I just sent it out to all of my contacts, whoever I could get in touch with. I just sent it out. Um, and I skipped a part where I had my mentor was my trainer. And the more he trained me, the more I just kept saying, I believe I can do this. Well, God pushed me to do it because when I was laid off and I needed some extra money to come through the house, I did it. And I just did it. I didn't even ask anybody about it. I was like, I'm going to make some flyer. I'm going to make a flyer, send it out, $5 a person. And they just started showing up.
Oh, see, now that's what you call divine order, right? I
Yeah.
think when you get into something and you said, you had your trainer who was your mentor, and the more you did it, the more you're like, I can do this. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how oftentimes you can find what your purpose is or what your
Mm-hmm.
gifts are, is when you really put yourself out there. So,
Yeah.
ladies, if you're thinking about starting something, pay attention. Pay attention. Now, tell me about Team Angie Fitness. Be your best you.
Mhm.
Tell us about some of the programs you have, what's available right now.
So, throughout my almost 2 decades of doing this, I've niched down to what my ladies' biggest complaint is, which is their lower belly fat.
Ooh,
Now
yes.
we're in, yes, the lower belly fat. And now we're in a phase of life where we're women of a certain age, And most of my clients are women of certain age, 35 plus, where they start to see changes in their bodies. But not only are changes happening in their body, but changes is happening in their life, right? So the kids are getting older, they're married, they're getting divorced, the parents are getting older, they're having to take care of their parents, they're working, they're not working, having to find work, all of the things, right, that keeps them not prioritizing themselves, but steadily giving in to those things that make them crave sweet, the stress of it all that makes them crave sweets and all of that. And I think what women miss is that as you age, you have to do things different. You can't do things the way that you used to do.
Mm,
And I just help with them. Now I'm niched down to helping ladies get rid of that belly fat. So that's how I entice them. But once I get them in, we all about health, baby. We all about health
that's how
because
you
the
hook them. You
flex,
roll it out there,
yeah,
you hook
yeah,
them. You be like that,
yeah. Because
dangling
I've
like
heard it. I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it so much that now I'm like, okay, I'm going to speak your language because it's not about what I want you to know or what I want. It's about what my people want. And that's what they want. They want a flatter belly. They want to be healthy, but of course, they come to you more with aesthetics of it all. But remember, everyone, the aesthetic, how you look, is the byproduct of you treating your body the way you should treat your body.
absolutely, absolutely. And you touched on women being of a certain age, which I'm a woman of a certain age. And I can tell you that belly fat, me and my girls, we sit down and we talk, and I'm like, y'all, I would sit down and look down, and it was in my lap. Like when I was
Stop
younger, it
it.
wasn't, I'm not playing. Angie, I'm not playing. When I was younger, I could look straight down, and it's a straight shot to, you can just see. But it got to the point where I would sit down, and I'm like, I got a pouch, like it's laying like laying there, like you could put your hand up under laying there. I was like, Jesus today. Same thing with the back fat. That's a whole nother thing, y'all. I'm not even gonna go there, but the same thing with that. I'm like, where did I get the roll right here? So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need Angie. There is definitely a market. Y'all,
Oh, yeah.
my sisters out there, pay attention. We're going to her contact information. She has a face group. I want to bring you all attention to her Facebook group that I want you all to join. It's called Lower Belly Fat Solutions for Women 35 Plus.
Mhm.
Join her, check her out, share it with other women because y'all know, don't keep it a secret, y'all. Y'all share. That's why I brought Angie on today, is because when I found out something good, I want to share it with all of you. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, let's get into find out some more with Miss Angie. Okay, tell us, what are some of your biggest challenges being a fitness entrepreneur, and how did you overcome it?
Um, I think what I missed was something very important at the beginning, which is my passion for people, but mostly women, because I'm a woman. I am her. She is me. We are. I am you. And so not being able to, I guess, find that GLP-1 or whatever that Ozempic stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just not being able to help them in the way I would love to help them
Mm,
change their mindset. I created a philosophy when I first started Team Angie Fitness called Revolutionize Your Mind, because it's very important when you start this journey, which is for life, everyone, that you revolutionize your mind. And that is a complete overhaul of everything that you've learned about eating, everything that you've learned about exercising, and all of the things. And then it's even more compounded when you become a woman of a certain age, because things change. It's not the same. You don't do things the same. And so my passion for women and women in this phase of life is has been a challenge, just because I have to peel the layers back, or help them peel the layers back, of everything that's going on in their lives so that they can prioritize themselves. Unfortunately, it's extremely difficult for women to
mm,
prioritize themselves when they are a woman of a certain age. So
Yes.
that's been a challenge, but I'm working through it. I got some stuff in my arsenal, and it's been working, and I've been continuously creating new things to help them lower their belly fat so they can be a little bit more happy with their bodies.
Yes. That part, being happy with your body. Because when you're not, I can tell you, when you're not happy with your body, like being a woman of a certain age, you're already dealing with, I'm getting older, right? You're dealing with
Yeah.
that part of it. But then in addition, now you're dealing with, my body is not looking like it used to do.
Yeah.
And let's face it, when we were younger, to your point, I mean, you can snap that body back relatively quickly. You know what to do. And
Mhm.
but when you get older, child, that body is like, ma'am, we don't snap back like that. We don't work like that, ma'am. What are you doing? So the fact that you specifically work with that target market, with that niche, I think is
Mhm.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you mentioned the mindset, that the mindset is the biggest thing, because oftentimes, and I'm guilty of this as well, I can really get in really good shape if there is a goal in mind, right? Like
Mhm.
if I have to go to an event, if something's coming up, let me tell you, me and some of my girlfriends, people say, y'all lose weight, y'all get in shape off of vanity, not health. And I was like, that is true. I'm not, I'm gonna be straight, totally transparent, because I want to look good in my clothes, right? And so we would lose the weight. We would lose the weight, but we couldn't keep the weight off because it was a mindset thing. So I love how you
Mhm.
say it's a mindset thing, because it's a lifestyle. It's a
It
lifestyle.
is for life, for
Woman of
life,
it's for
for
life,
life.
because that
You
yo-yo
can't
so
leave that out. It's for life.
is for life. So I love that you said that. What are some tips that you can help us? What's that comedian call us? Vintage. Can you help the vintage women out there with some tips on how can you get your mind right? What are some tips you can tell us? Just like maybe
I
one or
like
two
I,
gems to help with the mind part.
I like seasoned better, but vintage, if that's what you want to say, that's fine. Uh, again, getting your mind right is the number one thing. So, we know the Michael Jackson song, "The Man in the Mirror." What I need and challenge you to do is to look at yourself in the mirror, because no one knows except God, like you know,
Mm-hmm.
what your vices are. What you are, you a closet eater? You know, all of the things that we do when no one's looking. We need to look in the mirror, talk to ourselves, be honest with ourselves. If you're not ready to start, say, babe, you're not ready to start. But we're
Okay.
going to work on this every single day until we are ready to start. There has to be more than just the goal of your 40th birthday or 50th birthday or the cruise or the wedding or the this and that. It has to be more about your health. But I get the aesthetics, but remember, that's the byproduct of you being healthy, is
Right.
that your body has no choice but to react to what you're putting in it. So remember that. So the tip number one is be honest with yourself. Get that
Okay.
mindset on point. Tip number two is to reverse engineer. I always tell my people, reverse engineer this thing. Don't look at this like, oh, this is so challenging. This is so hard. This is so arduous. Yes, it is. But if you think about adding the good first, forget about taking away the bad. Add the good first. Before you know it, the bad will be gone because of all the good that you've put in. So those are my two biggest things. Reverse engineer. Don't think about taking away the bad. Just add some good every day. Add something good. And before you know it, you'll be doing most 90% good.
Okay, y'all. Now y'all got some gems right there. So don't say y'all didn't know. She gave us some nice, two good, powerful gems. Start with your mindset. Make sure that you're looking at yourself and being honest. And so I think that's
Mhm,
critical and that's so important. And then we have to be
mhm.
real with ourselves. So I appreciate you saying that, because I always have to have a talk with myself and I answer myself. So we have full on conversation.
Yes, yes. Because that's when you hear yourself talk. Listen, I know we've all heard Ian Van Zant say this, and it's the absolute truth. You've got to do the work. I know we don't like the word work, but it is what it is.
It is
Stop
what it is.
trying to find different words to make yourself feel good and massage that area that you don't like to talk about. This is your health. You only get one body. So talk
That
about it. Talk about it. Do something about it if you don't like it. And again, speak to yourself, tell the truth to yourself, and reverse engineer. Add good every day as much as you can, one small attainable goal at a time, and forget about taking away the bad. And I
yes.
got so much more for you if you just join Lower Valley Fat Solutions for Women 35 plus.
Y'all join now. Y'all join. Now the
We're
next
getting
thing
ready to do a challenge too. We're getting ready to do a
oh, so when
challenge,
is
and
the
it
challenge
starts on
starting?
Monday. It starts on Monday, but you got to come in the group to find out what the challenge is. That's it. That's it.
Okay. So so y'all heard that right. You got to come in the group so you can see what that challenge is gonna be now. I want y'all to uh be there so y'all can check
It's
it
going to
out
be fun. It's going to be fun because it's another body part that women complain about besides the belly.
now.
And I'll just say that.
Okay. I might have to sneak up in that group. Okay. How long is the challenge gonna be?
Well, I do them very short. There's 6 days or 7 days. That's all. Yeah, because
Oh,
we move on to the next challenge. Yeah.
okay. Well, oh man. Okay, y'all, this is real time. In real time, I'm talking to Angie. So, Angie, you know, this Sunday, because I'm gonna have an audience, maybe I think I'm gonna announce that if they want to come, I don't know if you have time, you could stop in or something and tell them about your challenge that's gonna come up because that's gonna
Okay,
be a
sure.
room full of women and we can give them your information and send them over there that like that'll be wonderful. That'll be a good thing. So I'll share that
I
if
would
you
love to.
yeah, get that way we can share that with the ladies and they can join. So that's an
Yeah. Thank you for opening that door for me. I appreciate that.
oh, no problem. No problem. Anytime I meet somebody that's trying to help women to prioritize themselves, we got to spread the love. We got to spread the love.
Mhm.
So now
Mhm.
the next thing I want to ask you is what are some of the biggest fitness myths that's out there that keeps people from seeing results? Like what's some of the myths that people do?
Well, I'm gonna keep it where I am and who I serve, which is women of a certain age, 35 plus. Once you hit a certain age, everyone, all that hard working out, no. When you hit a certain age, it's time for you to be more intentional about your movements.
Mm,
And it's not about cardio anymore. It's about strength training. And I don't mean I want you to be some buff woman. No, I mean it's nothing you really can do to be a buff woman unless your body is, just naturally made that way. And you
mhm.
still wouldn't be like a man unless you start taking supplements. So let's
Okay.
get that out of our heads because that's another myth that people think that if I lift weights, I'm going to look like a dude. Not going to happen unless you train like a dude and you take supplements like a dude.
Yeah.
Otherwise, um, strength training is extremely important. Not all that cardio. You do
Okay.
not have to have all that cardio. The
Okay.
other thing is oh, it's gonna be a secret, so I can't tell you this one to you unless you get in the. But the
Look,
other,
how she gonna almost tell us y'all and be like, I'm not gonna tell
I'm
y'all.
giving you some good stuff. I'm giving you some good stuff, even without you being in the group.
So
But
look, y'all,
the
y'all
other
just
myth, I mean, let me think of the
out
other
that
myth because that's a big one that people think that they have to do so much hard working out once they hit a certain age, and it's just not true. I think I just want to leave it there because that really is huge for women to understand that once, at 30, we start to lose muscle mass. It's called sarcopenia. And that's why we go around life using our arms naturally. We pick up things, all kinds of things. We pull when we're pulling weeds, whatever we're doing, we're using our arms and we take for granted that
oh,
they're going to stay the same. But no, you've got to be intentional about every muscle in your body, especially those arms, because Like you said about your stomach being in your lap, that's a lot of,
Yeah,
the women,
yeah,
the, the women come and they say, wait a minute, I was about to put my tank top dress on, and then I covered up my arms because they just got really. Number one, love yourself. Okay, just love yourself no matter what stage of fitness you are in. But two, I get it. I know it's easier said than done, but we do have to embrace where we are right now so that we can start working toward the future, right? Of who we
yeah,
want to be. That's very important. And if I could sidetrack for 1 second,
yeah.
because those women, I want to speak to those women that are married,
Okay.
because I've had more than enough husbands come to me and ask me, how can they help their wives? And do you want to know why they ask? Because their wives complain about their bodies in front of them.
Oh,
But if the husband says something like, yeah, you are getting fat, they can't do that. They can't do it. So if they're frustrated because they want to help their wife, but if they buy a program from me and bring it to their wife, then their wife, what you trying to say? But the other day you was just looking in the mirror and you asked me, was I fat? And you said I look fat and you said I look terrible. What do you want them to do, ladies?
I'm
Complain
with
to
you
your
on that.
friends. Yeah,
You can't
complain
have
to
it
your
both ways.
friends. Don't complain to your husband,
You can't
because
have it
your
both ways.
husband, he, yeah, he's riding with you. Even if you don't like it, he's riding with you with all the changes that you're going through, the weight gain. He's riding with you. But when you start complaining about it, then he feels like he has to do something to help you. But when he tries to do something to help you, then he gets scolded for that. So my challenge to you is, one, love yourself. Because if you're planning on not doing nothing about it, stop complaining about it.
That part.
But if you want to
That
do something about it, do something about it. Leave him out unless you're asking him for support. That's it.
And I love that. I love that advice because I know me and my girlfriends, we used to tell each other that we used to say that about dating people, right? Like if you're gonna
Mhm.
complain about it, then you either need to do something about it or stop
Or
complaining.
leave.
You
Yeah.
know, but don't complain because when you complain, you're saying I'm not happy with something. And to your point,
Yeah.
your significant other or your husband, he want to see you happy. But you ought to also have some accountability in that thing and know that that weight just isn't going to magically come off. And you said something earlier is that, you can't sugarcoat. You do have to put work in. Like you have to put
Mhm.
the work in because it's just not
Yeah.
going to just miraculously just come off. And I
Right.
think, we need, fitness professionals and coaches like you who can relate to what we're going through. You're a woman, but you also come straight forward with us. You're not just, cuddling us. You're giving us opportunity to see ourselves and not the
Mhm.
BS that we sometimes,
Yeah.
put out there to make excuses, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's important for them to understand that the more they complain in front of him, the more they draw attention to it and the more he sees it. He may not have even seen it or paid attention. But as soon as you start complaining, then he's like in his mind, yeah, she did used to be 30 pounds lighter, but he may have liked the extra weight that you were putting on. So take those complaints to your friends and to the Lord. Leave it away from him unless you ask him for support.
Yes. That's some good advice, ladies. And quick note, there's a scene in the movie, and some of y'all know the scene in the movie I'm talking about. And Why Did I Get Married? When Jill Scott had gotten a divorce from
Yeah.
her husband, remember? And she was working in that store with Troy. And she
Hmm.
was looking
Hmm.
at Troy because Troy was fine.
Yes.
Troy was fine. I was like, yes, he had the arms and the back. Anyway, listen, the moral of the story is she was like putting herself down in front of him.
Yes. Yes.
And he was like, why do you do that? and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically was telling her, look, if I'm comfortable with you, I like you just the way you are. But if you're uncomfortable, then let's
Yeah.
do something about it. But don't put
Yeah.
yourself down. And don't
Mm-hmm.
expect me, don't look at me to put you down too. Like I'm here to
Yeah.
support you. And they
Yeah.
ended up, working out together, and she started
Mm-hmm.
seeing that, he loves me and accepts me for who I am,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to change for herself, and that's a beautiful thing. He
Yes.
wanted to make sure that
But
the
but
change.
what he said to her, but I'm sorry to interrupt,
Go ahead, go
because
ahead.
what he said to her, Tyler Perry hit that whole conversation it's exactly what I'm talking about. What he said to her, husbands know that if they say it, you know what I'm saying? They know who they're dealing with. But what he said to her was so spot on. Why do you
Yeah,
do that? Why do you talk about yourself? I don't see that, but if you see that, then do something about it. And I'll help you. I'll do it with you. That's what I mean. Don't say anything unless you ask for his support. Don't talk about yourself in front of
good
your
point.
significant other or your husband. Don't do it.
Okay, ladies, you heard it from Coach Angie. I better pay attention now. These men been going to her. These husbands are going to her, like trying to get advice.
They
So y'all
are.
better.
They are.
Now, so here's the thing. How do you help busy professionals integrate fitness in their daily lives?
Those are my favorite too, because it's all about women. So it's busy women professionals, high achieving women, that's out here doing the dang on thing, working all these long hours and not able to prioritize themselves. I just interviewed a woman on my podcast who's a senior vice president, and she said that she ended up in the hospital because she was just overworking herself. And
Mm,
yeah, and so I do the same thing with them, and I just help them to realize that their mindset is first. Like, this company loves you. Obviously, they've allowed you to to go to higher heights, right? But as soon as you're laid up in a hospital somewhere, you will be there will
replace.
be someone there to take your place. So they have to, because life and business has to go on. So you have to take care of yourself first. So you can be
Absolutely.
there for your body, for your family. So you can be there for the things that you love to do, no matter what that is, active or not. And so that you can do what you need to do at whatever company that you love. Because this particular person really loved her job, but it was really taking a toll on her. So
Mm,
it put her in the hospital. And so sometimes we're pushed to that, where
yeah,
God gives us a wake up call to understand that, listen, your health comes first. And these people will understand that, because they're human beings too. Their health has to come first too. So yeah,
absolutely.
I really just guide them to make sure that they're very aware of where they're fitting themselves in their own life, because women are not putting themselves in their own priorities. That they got priorities all over the place, but
We
they're
never
not one of
do. I agree. That's one of the main reasons I started Priority You. Same
them.
thing. You and I, same thing, right? And I always tell my clients that you are not your title. You are not your job. Your job is
Mhm.
just a part of your life. But
Yeah.
that's not your life. That's not your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And so many times, especially as women, when we get in these positions and these roles, we have to prove that we're worthy to be there. So we always have to go the extra mile. We always have to stay the longest, afraid to
Mhm.
take vacation time. Some people, I told the story once before. There was a lady I work with. She died working remote at home
Wow.
and never really took her vacations, prided
Mhm.
herself because everybody came to her because she knew so much. So it made her feel
Mhm.
good that people came to
Mhm.
her. But by the same token, she wasn't taking care of herself. And so
Mhm.
we have to learn how to mind our business.
Yeah.
And our lives is our business. And when you don't mind
Mhm.
your business, your health will suffer, your mental
Mhm.
well-being will suffer, your relationships will suffer. Your
Mhm.
satisfaction with your satisfaction with yourself, your happiness with yourself will suffer. So you have to mind your business. And I always tell people, you know what? When I'm minding my business, I don't have time to know for looking at nobody else's business. Like I don't have time
Mhm.
for the messiness because I'm a handful to handle all by myself. I don't know how people have time to be messy in the world. I just don't
Right.
know.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm still trying to figure out, I'm trying to maintain getting physical activity in, eating better, staying hydrated, working my business, trying to keep my mental health well, and also learning. I love to learn. So trying to continuously learn and develop myself. That's a full-time job. And then you got
Mhm.
to incorporate your family, your friends, your recreation time because you need all
Mhm.
of that is a big full life. But if the only thing you're doing is focusing on work, you ain't
Mhm.
nothing, and you're not
Yeah.
minding your business. So y'all
Mhm.
gotta mind your business. Now,
Just make sure that you schedule time for you to get up. Like if you have a sit down job, remember sitting is the new smoking, they say. So if you are sitting a lot,
mm-hmm.
I do that. I schedule time to get up onto
Oh,
my Outlook calendar. Yeah. So like every hour, get up, go walk around, go get you some pistachios from the whatever. Just get up. Put that on your calendar for a reminder. Even if you ignore it, it's still there. The seed has been planted.
I like that. That's a great tip. So, ladies, schedule it. You can put it on your calendar, put it on your phone, put your appointment.
Mhm.
We have these smartphones, y'all. They do everything. Let's maximize
Mhm.
the resources that we have to build healthy habits.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a few more questions. I'm know we're getting close to time, but I just have a few more questions. Um,
Mhm.
One question I have for you is, what has been the most rewarding part of running your own fitness business?
Mhm. Again, helping the women I serve. Um, in this business, we're like doctors, we're like psychiatrists or therapists. I won't say psychiatrists, but therapists and social workers. We're just like a barber, just like a hairdresser. People
Yes.
come and they tell us about their day, to tell us about their families, their relationships, and we're there to listen. And I think that's really um, one of the most rewarding things about what I do is because I'm serving in more than just helping them with their health. I'm helping them release when they need to release. And I'm being present for them when they need someone to be present for them. We all need that. When we want to talk about something that's going on, we need the person that we're talking to be present and listen. And I'm doing better at that, like with family members, like because your mind is all over the place, and you're doing something, and they may come to you and talk to you while you're doing something, and so now
Mhm.
you're focusing on two things. But what we have to do for family, for friends, for the people that we serve is to stop and listen.
Yes. Yes.
Stop,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
and listen. So that's my biggest rewarding part of what I do is that I am here. I'm actually serving. I'm actually present for them.
Wonderful. Now, tell me this. What advice would you have for someone who has a passion for fitness and they want to break into the fitness business?
Do
What
it.
advice
Just
would you give?
do it. Just do it. That is my advice. I mean, really, you heard what I said. I said, I'm having a boot camp behind this middle school. It's $5 a person. I have my gospel house music on a boom box. I took it out. I put batteries in it. I took it out there and I waited for people to show up, and they showed up. So walk out on faith if that's what you truly want to do, and God will meet you at the point of your faith
Come
and
on
do
now. Come on, y'all.
it.
Step out on
Just
faith.
do it.
And that's going to be
Yeah.
applicable to anything you all out there who want to start something different. So if it's the fitness business, Angie's a great example how she just is like, you know what, I can do this. I'm just gonna do it.
Mhm. Yep.
She made her flyer. She just got out there. She says, you know what, I'm gonna have my music going and I'm gonna wait. And whoever show up, that's what I'm gonna work with. And it's getting started. It's having the courage to do it
Mhm.
anyway. And
Yeah, it's still like
I
that to
love
this
the fact
day.
that you
I
just put
started the
yourself.
community. Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No. I
I
was just saying,
started,
I love the fact that you put yourself out there. You was
yeah,
courageous and you just jumped. You jumped out on faith.
yeah,
So that's beautiful.
yeah. That's what I was saying about the community, the lower belly fat community. It's the same way. It's the same thing. Like if one person show up or 1,000, I'm gonna be here because I know that this is a pain point for people, and I want to help. I want to serve.
Now, with that said, I know that we have going across the screen, everybody, to connect with Angie at the Facebook group. So go over on Facebook group. It's the Lower Belly Fat Solutions for Women 35 Plus. So that's how you all can connect with her. Um, you can also follow her on social media because she's at
Team Angie Fitness.
Team Angie Fitness on Instagram and on
Hmm.
Facebook.
And on TikTok
Oh,
and
and on
on YouTube. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
now y'all got YouTube,
All
y'all
this, all
got
the socials are
TikTok,
Team Angie
Facebook,
Fitness.
Instagram. It's Team Angie Fitness. So y'all can always stay connected. But listen, she's got, again, I want to repeat, she has a new challenge that's going to be starting this coming Monday. This Monday
Mhm.
is March 24th, y'all. Get to that Facebook group. She said it's not going to be a long challenge. So before y'all go like, how long? Not going to be a long challenge, y'all. Some y'all can start off with. It's good to get those muscles going, get to exercising, and you can get some good information from an expert who's there to help.
Yes.
And
Thank
so
you. Thank you for that.
you're
Do you
welcome.
mind if I also share?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know why I always forget about my book. I have a book,
Absolutely.
everyone. My
She's
book is
also
called
an
You Say
author.
I Am an Author, and the book is called You Say You Want to Work Out, but You Don't. Why? So it's on Amazon. Just wanted to say that real quick. You say you want to work out, but you don't.
Absolutely.
Why?
Get the book, y'all, and share. So when you see this playing back, whether it's on, Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, you all share this episode with other women and share Angie's information, the book.
Thank you. Thank
So you
you.
say
Thank
you
you.
want to
I
work out.
appreciate it.
So you say you want to work out, but you
You say you
don't.
want to work out. You say you want to work out, but you don't. Why?
Why? You say you want to work out, but you don't. Why? That sounds like a book I'm sure we all can relate to at some point in time. No,
Yeah. Every
no,
time someone hears that title, they're like, "Ooh, I feel attacked. Oh my God, you're talking to me."
like shots fired, right? So yes, so y'all have the book, you have her handles, you have the Facebook group. So let's reach out, let's support Angie and her efforts, and bring your sisters along, bring other women along.
Thank you.
It's some
Thank
women
you.
out there and they like, I don't feel good in how I'm dressed. If you got some friends and they're not happy with how they look, they may start being a little depressed. They may be a little irritated because when people aren't happy with themselves, they'll start, their behavior will change. And so if you
Mhm.
notice some of your friends, they not quite feeling themselves, maybe it's, they don't picked up some weight and they not doing nothing about it. And they not feeling good about themselves. Share this with your sisters. Share it in love and be like, girl, I love you, but let's join this fitness thing together then. We're gonna team up and join this thing together. And Angie will help
Mhm.
get us together because y'all know she hit that target spot, which is that lower belly fat.
Yes.
I can attest to
Yep.
that.
I give the secret to how you can get rid of it. I do.
So
I think most coaches, fitness coaches, or even nutritionists for that matters, sure a lot of them do, but they don't. I'll say fitness coaches. They don't focus on what I focus on to help get rid of it, because what we focus on has to be done for life, and I'm not talking about strength training. So there you go.
all right, y'all. So now you see she just gave us a little bit and was like that man on that nationwide commercial where he got that little fish rod And he go, oh, you got to be quicker than that. You got to be quicker than that. Yeah, Angie just
A
gave
lot
us
of
the
women struggle with this. They struggle with it. So that when they hear it, they'll be like, oh, yeah. And that's all.
Okay, y'all. So y'all heard that. So you got to go to our Facebook group so y'all can get all the sauce and find out, what's really good, what's going on around that. Because she got some secrets we got to find out, right? So with that said, y'all, listen, I want to give everybody a reminder. We are having this quarter Sip, Spill, and Chill, y'all. It is going on this Saturday. It's going to be a packed house. I want you all to click the links, register. If you're on Facebook, the post is there, register there. If you're on Instagram, register there. It's going to be loads. We're having games. We're going to have loads of fun. And, you're drinking. Whether you want a mocktail or a cocktail or coffee or tea, hey, it's on you. It's judge-free zone. You know what I mean? So we're going to have some fun, though. It's going to be fun. So join us there.
Make sure you send me that link. So I can share it with my community too.
Yes, I will. I will send that to you. And also, I want to tell everybody coming up on April 1st, I'm doing a 3-day workshop, y'all. A 3-day workshop. It's called The Art of Minding Your Business. The Art of Minding Your Business. How to be the CEO of your life. Because some of us are just letting life happen to us. Some of us, and even Angie talked on it. You're so used to doing things for everybody else. You're like the last person on your list. And all the dreams and ambitions that you have for yourself, they've seemed to fallen by the wayside. And you look at yourself and you're like, how did I get here? Why am I not happy with where I am? And sometimes you may even feel hopeless. But I'm here to tell you, you are the CEO of your life. And you can run that like a business, but you have to have the mindset for it. And it's a 3-day workshop, y'all. It's going to be wonderful. It's starting on April 1st. It's going to be April 1st. It's going to start at 6:30 and go from 6:30 to 8. We're also going to have a VIP portion of it so that, for those of you who are ready to level up, we're going to have an extra hour on the end for VIPs for some additional Q&A and coaching because we want your confidence. We want you to see yourselves the way I see you. See, I know y'all boss women out there. I know you're worthy. I know you can achieve so much, but you have to learn how to tune out the noise so you can hear yourself and take care of yourself. And you have to strategize. You have to plan for success, right? Because would you want to work for a company who had a CEO who didn't know the business, who didn't have a vision, didn't have a plan, right? You're not going to want to work for a company like that. Your life is your company, and you got to run it. So with that said, y'all, I love y'all. I want to thank Angie so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And listen, y'all, again, join that Facebook group. Join that Facebook group because summertime is coming and I don't want to hear none of y'all complain and talk about something. I can't wear that summer dress because y'all know my stomach poked out. No excuses. No excuses because Angie got you covered. Any last words,
Angie? Just take the time to get to know you. Be aware. Be honest with yourself. And just make it do what it do, y'all. You got this. You got it. You do.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me, Vanette.
You are welcome. My pleasure. Good night, y'all. I love you all. And remember, prioritize you. Good night.